Welcome to Mastering PE Reporting, what every PortCo finance leader should know. A roundtable panel discussion brought to you by the Controllers Council. My name is Neil Brown, Executive Director of the Controllers Council. And before I introduce our expert panelists and our partner sponsor, let me share some brief housekeeping items. We'll have Q&A at the end of the presentation, so please use your GoToWebinar control panel to ask our experts questions. Next, this webinar is CPE eligible with 4 polling questions, so please answer each poll for CPE or to benchmark your peers. Please allow up to a few days to receive your CPE certificates via email. Also regarding CPE, you'll receive a brief survey directly after the webcast today, so please complete. And finally, you'll receive a link to this webcast via email in the next 24 hours, so no need for notes or screenshots. With that, I'm very pleased to introduce our partner and sponsor, Planful. Planful helps customers achieve peak performance, driving prosperity for their shareholders, their employees, and the communities they impact. When businesses run better, they create a better society. Planful products help finance and accounting plan, close, and report with speed and accuracy. Human resources build winning people strategies. Marketing plan for and deliver more business value. And others across the business thrive in any environment. Learn more at www.planful.com. With that, I'm very pleased to introduce our speakers, Deidre Mullen and Kyle Steep. Deidre is the VP of Finance at Planful. She has a passion for building and scaling finance organizations at high-growth tech companies, including Stripe, Remote, Fundbox, and Catalyst. Kyle Steep is a solutions consultant at Planful, who, after previously leaving KPMG's audience practice, spent nearly a decade in the SaaS space managing accounting and FP&A functions, building from a company's startup phase to acquisition. Welcome, Deidre and Kyle. With that, I'm going to move the presentation over to Deidre.
Thank you, Neil. Okay. Great. Hi, all. As Neil mentioned, I'm Deidre, VP of Finance at Planful. I'll be leading you through today's session along with Kyle. I joined Planful a little over a year ago, and this is my first PE-backed company. Actually, I've mostly spent my time in the VC space, so I've learned a lot about PE reporting and working with PE firms in the last year, so excited to share with you all what I've learned. So, what will we be covering today? We'll be going over reporting challenges for PortCos, so what makes it difficult. Then we'll go through best practices and ways to address these challenges. We'll also specifically go through how Planful or FP&A reporting tools overall can help solve some of these pain points. Then we'll go through some real live examples of how we have solved some of these at Planful as a PortCo. Kyle will take us through a demo and we'll see the product in action. And then lastly, we'll do a summary and Q&A as Neil mentioned. All right.
All right, go ahead.
So what are some typical challenges? PwC summed it up for us, and I'm sure this rings a bell for most of you. Many PE firms rely on spreadsheets or a static report sent by email to monitor portfolio companies. 54% of PE PortCo respondents in our Next In survey use an email with an attachment to collect data and respond to requests. 36% simply write a text-only response via email. So, today is about you all, the operators. So your use cases and benefits is what we're mostly going to focus on. But having a lack of standardized reporting from PortCos is a big problem for PE firms too. So having a reporting tool not only helps you better align with your PE owner, but improves their internal operations as well.
All right, with that, we'll get to a poll. This looks like the second poll, but let's go ahead and
Okay.
It's okay. Our PE reporting is manual, siloed, and disconnected. Please select one of the following. Real simple for our smart audience today. And like I said, they're voting, they're smart, they're voting really fast. 80% voted already. So I'll just leave it open for a couple more seconds. By the way, all survey responses are anonymous and confidential, of course. So we'll quickly share the results. We'll maybe talk a little bit about some of the other polls, but not surprisingly, 48% agree, and another 16% strongly agree. Only 18% disagree, and 6% strongly. So I think we were right on with this one.
So let's move into our next poll.
All right. So let me launch that. What reporting challenges do you experience as a PortCo? Select all that apply. One or more of the following. So again, take a few seconds on that. This is the fastest voting I've ever seen. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so let's take a look at this one now. Fragmented systems, different reporting packages. So that is intuitive with PortCo companies, with PE-backed companies, 53%. Manual adjustments, still a major percentage, 33. Delayed closings, 33. Resource and talent constraints, 28. And only 12% not sure. So any surprises here, Deidre?
None at all.
Yeah.
This is all, we'll cover all this later today.
Yeah, this is just kind of setting up, giving us some audience input here. So I'll take it back to you.
Okay, great. So what are some of the typical reporting challenges for PortCo? So obviously we just did some polls to go through them. First I think is data. So, reporting required for PE firms typically comes from a variety of systems. So you could have to pull your historicals from your ERP, your AR and pipeline numbers from your CRM, employee data from your HIRS, and then you need to also pull in your forecasts, however those are, whether it's in a tool or it's in Excel or Sheets, and somehow aggregate all of that, do calculations on it and put it in a presentable format for your owner. So it can be messy, incredibly manual, very prone to error, and data can be different from system to system or change historically, and you don't know why. Another challenge is timeliness. So not only are those reports messy, but they take time to put together if you don't have them standardized. If your PE backer wants reporting quickly every month, it can be difficult to turn this around, especially you have to have accounting close and you have to update your rolling forecast, and then you have to put all of this into a report. It takes some time. Standardization. So, you might have to report to different providers. So maybe you have to do one report for your PE firm on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. Then you might have different reporting requirements for a lender, for instance. And so it makes it difficult to standardize if, you have all these different parties that you're sending these to. Forecasting accurately and timely. So, if this is all being done in Excel or Sheets, it's a lot more prone to errors. Updating with actuals is much more difficult. It's harder to build and lock various scenarios or do look backs on them. Resources and talent constraints. So, I think we're all always asked, especially as, kind of just finance in general, do more with less. Reporting takes time to set up and operationalize. It's also, tends to be a lower priority sometimes because we're trying to run the business and don't have the bandwidth to set it up to scale. Integration of operational data. So, as mentioned in the data point, a lot of reporting requirements are beyond financial. So, you might have to say, how is a particular revenue segment? How's their pipeline looking month over month? As that's something we're focused on. And it can be tough to integrate that into your reporting and standardize it because, it's coming from your CRM, for instance. And then change management. So, lastly, if you have a new owner or asked to follow new reporting processes that you haven't in the past, it can be tough to, not only get used to that change, but set it up to scale. Okay.